Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a comparison video for you. Now, I never thought that I'd get past 500 subscribers on YouTube. I also never thought I'd see the day that I was comparing two £1,500 plus watches against each other. But here we are. Today I am comparing the TAG Heuer Formula 1 WAZ2011 with the ceramic bracelet against the Oris Aquis Date. Now, I really do enjoy both of these watches for completely different reasons. TAG being the poster boy for how to advertise a watch brand. Even if you don't know watches, you know TAG. And Oris being the persevering, independent company that has maintained building quality watches since 1903. Two brilliant watchmakers. Both of these watches, brand new from a dealer, will be in the same type of price range. The Oris, £1,600, whereas the TAG Heuer is £1,750. So very close to each other. They also share the same movement. So guys, without further ado, let's get this TAG and this Oris off wrist and let's get them in front of the camera. So this is probably as expensive as one of my videos is ever going to look. We have the Oris Aquis Date 43.5mm watch with this TAG Heuer Formula 1 WAZ2011 42mm. Now, it was suggested to me by Dan, the owner of the TAG, that I should compare these two watches. He actually owns this here TAG as well as an Oris Aquis Date in green. So I thought I'd probably take his advice on it. He's probably the guy in the know for a comparison like this. Both of these watches are powered by a Sellita Sw200 base movement. Now, the Oris is actually an unregulated movement, whereas the TAG is regulated, I believe. So you would expect slightly better timekeeping from the TAG. However, I have got to say the Oris is keeping perfectly good time. At least it has been while it's been in my company. Now, these are two absolutely gorgeous watches, both Swiss-made movements, both in the plus £1,500 category. The TAG Heuer coming in at £1,750 from a dealer, whereas the Oris comes in at £1,600 from the dealer. Now, primarily the Oris is a dive watch with that 300-meter water resistance rating. I would say the TAG is more of a sports watch. However, it does have a 200-meter water resistance. So there's the first trade-off for you. The TAG isn't as water resistant as this Oris. Now, these are both stainless steel cases and we have two stainless steel bracelets. However, the Formula 1 has a centre of ceramic links, which are really nice, and they tie in really nicely to the bezel and dial. It really flows with the design of the watch. The Oris does have a really high quality bracelet. It does just come as a stainless steel bracelet, but it is a really nice high polish on these outer links, which is unusual to see, but it flows with the lug design of this watch and a really high quality brushed centre. Now, the place that the Oris really does outdo the TAG massively is in the clasp. The milled clasp on the Oris, as well as the substantially built milled diver's extension, really outdoes what you will find on the TAG. I'll just show you what you're going to find on the TAG. Now, this is where TAG always let me down, unfortunately. As you can see, this TAG comes with a pressed clasp. It does have a extension on it, just as the Oris does, but it is also pressed. Now, unfortunately for me, that is unforgivable at this price range. It's also unforgivable at the price range that they offer their lower models, such as my one. My one is just the base Formula 1 model and it comes with a press clasp, but brand new to £1,000. I don't think you should be going anywhere and spending £1,000 on a press clasp. It's the big downside to a Formula 1 and it always really has been for me. I just don't think I can forgive that from TAG. Moving on from that, we have two ceramic bezel inserts, both doing this completely differently. As you can see, we have a really nice reflective ceramic insert on the Oris. TAG have gone with a more of a matted ceramic insert. It does flow really nicely with the rest of the case, and I understand their choice here due to the fact that the rest of the watch is brushed steel, aside from these high polished sides. Both bezels are pretty solid in function. No play in the tag. However, the Oris does pretty much outdo it, as I would expect from a dive watch. It's a much tighter fit, and it feels like a much more quality built bezel action, so I would have to give that one to the Oris. Both of these bezels fulfill completely different needs in these watches. They can be used for the same function, but I believe the Tag's bezel really does flow with its sports design, whereas the Oris bezel flows with a really nice dive watch design. Moving on into the sapphire crystals. Yes, both of these are sapphire crystals, as you would expect at this price range. They are both again done differently. The Tag's crystal is flat and undomed. It does fit nicely with the watch, and it is a good quality sapphire crystal. However, once again, I do have to give this to the Oris. That double domed sapphire is a gorgeous look on this watch, and it flows with the bezel. I believe the Aquis Date really does have a better flow to the design of it. The Formula 1 series of watches always go with this same checkered flag style case back. As you can see, it's a very well recognizable case back. It's a really nice one. I think they're quite nice anyway. However, again, it's starting to become a landslide at this point, but again, I would have to give the case backs to the Oris. There's just something about that red rotor that I really enjoy seeing in the back of the watch. They are the same movements, the same base movements. The only difference really is that red rotor. So yeah, I would pass this to the Oris. I think that's a much nicer look, even though it's just the case back. I just think it's a nice feature piece. Both watches come with screw down crowns and crown guards. The Oris is a really big chunky crown. As you can see, it is signed. Now, I do prefer the crown over here on the tag. It has a nice little red strip down it. It really does give you a nice racing feel. However, looking into it a little bit deeper, the crown guards on this Oris really do add a little piece of quality. I do really enjoy them. Both watches have a sunburst effect on the dial. Looking at them, they're both absolutely quality. It'd be really hard for me to call this either way with the dials. I like both of them for completely different reasons. I love this grey sunburst effect because it kind of fades into a nice white and then a darker black to the centre. I really do think it's a lovely effect to carry through the watch, especially with the ceramic insert and bracelet. However, the Oris does really flow with this reflective sort of bezel. If I was going to call it either way, I would go with Oris once again. And it comes down to one thing for me. It's the date window. Now, I don't mind the date window not being colour matched as much on the tag. The thing that I think Oris have done well has made this watch really symmetrical down the centre. There's nothing leaning either side on the dial, and I think that's a good look. However, that being said, if I was going to call the indices, I'd much prefer the Tag Heuer look. I really do like those oversized Arabics at the 12 and 6. It's a feature on these watches that I love, and I love it on my version also. The handsets on both of these watches are really nice in their own ways. The Tag's handset is really nice and simple, but it does come in with this second hand with the Tag logo at the rear of it. I really like that. That's a nice little piece of quality. As well as that, I really do like the red little tip on the second hand. I think that's really nice. The Oris really does have a standout dive style handset. Again, very simple with that lollipop second hand. If I was to choose who'd done it better, I would side with Tag on this one. I think they've put a little bit of an extra added quality into that handset. Both watches are lumed. I'll insert their lume shots just here for you. Oris coming in with that blue and the Tag with the green. They both are quality looms. Again, if I was to give it to one of them, I would side with the Oris. I think it lasts slightly longer. Now, where do my moans come in on these watches? If someone gave me £1,500 right now and said you could pick either one, which one would you pick? Firstly, let's get into what I don't like about these watches. And it both really does stem from the bracelets in completely different ways once again. Now, the Oris, the issue that I have with it is that This is an integrated bracelet. These are also Oris styled screws. You do need a special tool to use those screws. And I believe the tool isn't exactly cheap. And the replacement bracelets from Oris aren't very cheap either. So if you did want to rock a different look on this watch, you would be setting yourself back £100+, which isn't really what you want to do when you've just spent £1,600 on a watch. However, the moans on the Tag Heuer are much more severe for me. I love this ceramic bracelet. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The issue that I have with it is that the end link isn't done in the same fashion, nor is this link at the clasp and this link here. Now, I'm sure there's a reason that Tag haven't done that. I'm sure it's something to do with the build of the watch, but it is a little bit of a letdown, if I'm completely honest. That's the one thing that I noticed when I took it out of the box. It is a gorgeous watch. I love that bracelet with the ceramic. I think that's real quality, but that stands out to me, and it's not in a good way. It doesn't stand out in a good way. Another thing that we have to look at for this comparison is the brands and what they bring themselves. Now, as I said in the intro, Tag is a really well-known brand. Even if I speak to someone that doesn't know much about watches, isn't very into the watches, they have heard of Tag Heuer. When I wear my Tag, people know what it is. And that's really down to Tag's advertising and how they get their brand name out there. They advertise a hell of a lot of their budget goes into that, and it really shows. And I think that's really worked for them. I mean, they're still getting away with putting press clasps into £1,000+ watches, so they're doing something right in that department. That being said, Oris are not a small player in the watch market. They are an independent brand, and they have been since they set up shop in Holstein in 1903. And I think that's really a really romantic story in the watch industry. You don't get many independent brands at this level anymore. They're all under umbrella corporations. Look at Omega. I mean, they may be one of the most historic brands out there, but they are still part of the Swatch Group. Whereas Oris have remained independent and creating watches since 1903. I think that's a romantic tale in itself. So getting down to the real question at hand. Given £1,500 and told to pick one, gun pointed to my head, you have to pick one of them. Which would you choose? Unfortunately, it'd be an easy answer. I'd 100% pick the Oris. And I'm going to tell you why. To me, the build quality, the design, these lovely crown guards at the side, that integrated bracelet and the reversed brushing and polished finish on it, it's really a spectacle to behold. I just think they did it better. They really did, especially with that dial, with the symmetrical design. It's just lovely to look at. It's a real pleasure to wear. So given the choice, I would side with Oris on this one. So guys, that is my comparison between the Oris Aquis Date and the Tag Heuer Formula 1 WAZ2011. Absolute mouthful, that one, isn't it? They have so many Tag Heuer Formula 1s though, I really do have to specify which one I'm reviewing. Now, I do have a really big thank you to say to two of my subscribers. Of course, Dan and Chris are the actual owners of both of these watches, and they have been absolutely fantastic in lending them to me. Dan dropped off his Tag for me today, and Chris sent me his orders last week. It's going back tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be made up to have that back. It's probably been like losing a limb for him, but he's been a really lovely gent in lending it to me, as has Dan. And he also gave me the complete idea for this video, so thank you, Dan. Now, we are probably around the 550 subscriber mark now, maybe a bit more. I have recorded this video in a little bit of advance because I do have to get the orders review out tomorrow, Monday the 7th, and the Tag review will be out probably the end of that week, maybe the Monday after, and this video will probably be out the week after that, so who knows where I'll be. It'll be a nice surprise. Thank you for watching this, guys. My name's Jason, and I have been your watch guy today. I'll see you in the next one.